The Kalahari is 100,000 square miles of South African desert. The sand bushmen here have survived for centuries by eating a succulent called Hoodia to stave off hunger pains during long hunting trips. What they have known for generations, researchers are just proving to be true. This Hoodia cactus kills the appetite.
It works by suppressing the satiety center in the lateral hypothalamus of the brain. Therefore, it kind of fools the mind and body feeling of a fullness.
Dr. Richard Goldfarb is the medical director of the Philadelphia Clinical Research Facility, which is testing a powder form of the South African Hoodia plant. The first clinical studies just completed showed that by ingesting Hoodia 1 hour before meals, appetite was stifled significantly.
The appetite suppressant effect, after it accumulates in your system after only a few days that we saw in our study, has shown that people will cut their calories probably in less than half, and they're not desiring any additional food.
Study members lost their appetite but did not experience the typical side effects.
Based on our clinical study, we did not notice any side effects such as jitteriness that you would get with the old-time products as well as the prescription products.
Results like these have spawned a fast-growing market for Hoodia-based supplements, but the key is to get Hoodia grown in a specific region with a certification called DEX-L10.
It's the Hoodia that's coming from the Kalahari Desert in the South Africa region that has the most research on it.
Nowadays, instead of using the Hoodia just to survive, the sand bushmen and the slimming cactus business are flourishing in the barren Kalahari Desert. This is Jim Jackson reporting.
Well, after airing a report on an African cactus found to curb the appetites of hundreds of people in a national study, Channel 8 morning viewers started emailing me wanting more information. Well, in this morning's Viewer Connection, find out more about Hoodia.
It's hard to change eating habits. It's why so many Americans find it tough to lose weight. But what if you could eat what you usually do, just smaller portions, and see results? Some say you can, taking something called Hoodia Gordonii.
Hoodia curbs the appetite. It doesn't make you starve. It just curbs your appetite so that when you eat slightly less. And in doing so, you reduce the amount of calories that you take into your body, therefore, which leads to weight loss.
But not all Hoodia is created equally. It is grown in China, Mexico, and Texas. But studies show the variety found in South Africa, harvested in the Kalahari Desert, shows the greatest results. Nutrilab actually conducted DNA tests of the cactus at UCLA before formulating what is said to be the purest form of the Hoodia capsules, DEX-L10.
With the correct material, we've done tests on obese people. Now, with these tests, we found that without changing their eating habits, they lost 3.3% of their body weight in the 28-day studies that we've conducted.
You can take 2 capsules of Hoodia a day on a diet plan, or if you just want to avoid overeating during the holidays, double the dosages before you go out.
We need in our body, in our system, between 800 and 1,000 milligrams of Hoodia to be effective per day. Anything below that does not work. There are products on the market right now, 150 milligrams or so, 50 milligrams. They don't work. There's no effect whatsoever at those dosage levels.
Hoodia is marketed worldwide, and in the UK it's used to help obese children lose weight.
If you want to learn more about Hoodia and figure out how to order it in its purest form, log on to tbo.com, and under links we've mentioned, click on Hoodia. But with any supplement or drug, make sure you talk to your doctor before taking it. And in the study, nobody had any side effects or even felt that jittery feeling that you might feel when you take some diet supplements.
Okay, well, that is good news. And, you know, it's been working for hundreds of years.
Exactly.
You know.
From NBC News, this is Today with Katie Curran and Matt Lauer. Live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And welcome to Today on this Monday.
It's 46 minutes after the hour. Still ahead, the weight loss pill that some say gets rid of your hunger pains. Does it really work? We're going to find out a little later. But first, these messages.
Meanwhile, coming up in this half hour on our weekly Monday segment, which we're calling Take It Off Today, something called Hoodia. If you've never heard of it, it's a plant that could be the magic ingredient for a pill that may help the estimated 60 million obese Americans lose weight. But does it really work? Does it get rid of those hunger pangs and make you not want to eat everything that isn't nailed down? We're going to have some details and also talk with an expert.
Also ahead, we're going to...
This morning on our continuing series, Take It Off Today, the very latest information on weight loss. Could you imagine a product that would keep you from getting those dreaded hunger pangs and therefore keep you from eating? The answer may lie in a plant found in the middle of the South African desert. Here's NBC's Janet Shamlian.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the look everyone wants.
Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me?
A body to die it for.
Don't you?
They're on the beaches, in magazines, and all over Hollywood. How far will we go to get one? How about thousands of miles and deep into a distant culture? South Africa's Kalahari Desert, home to what could be the answer to an appetite. It's a cactus called Hoodia.
You strip off the skin, you strip off the spines, and then you can consume it.
Eat it, and you won't want to eat anything else. A secret Bushmen have known for ages. A mystery to the West, no more.
Hoodia is actually one of our top-selling diet products.
Nutrition stores are packed with products, but this isn't the fresh plant said to work wonders. It's the dried, powdered, and some say less effective version.
One of the issues for dieters is there are so many products with the label Hoodia on them, it's hard to know the difference between them and if they work at all.
Today Show staffer Jamie Anchor is giving it a shot and finding her appetite is suppressed.
I am obsessed with it.
10 years of weight loss camp as a child. At 26, she's still waging the war and hoping Hoodia will be the weapon that works.
What's the worst that's going to happen to me?
An important question. Store brands are not inspected or regulated. Their exact contents unknown. Texan Walter Parks bought his bottle on the internet.
I would say yes, that it is the magic bullet.
But no human studies to prove that, and so little supply of the plant.
It's important to say this does need more work. It's not in the ready-to-use form right now.
Dieters hopeful a hunger-busting plant will deliver this. One of those glorious how did she get it bodies. Seemingly everywhere, except in the mirror. For today, Janet Shamlian, NBC News, Dallas.
And up next, we'll ask an expert if Hoodia really works. That's right after this. We're back at 8:19. We just told you about a plant called Hoodia that some say can be turned into a magic weight loss pill that will get rid of hunger pangs. But does it really work? And more importantly, is it really safe? Madeline Fernstrom is the director of Weight Management Center at the University of Pittsburgh. Hey, Madeline. Good morning. Nice to see you. All right. So what exactly is Hoodia? It's this sort of soft stuff in the middle of a cactus found in South Africa. Is that right?
Hoodia is a plant that grows naturally in South Africa. It's cucumber-like. Think of it as a long cucumber with a lot of spikes. It's like a cactus. And what you do is the material inside, or the sap, you peel off the prickly stuff, and then you have a compound. So it's actually biologically an active compound that will supposedly prevent hunger. Now, how do we know this? From the South African Bushmen who use this in long-term hunting where they want to suppress hunger while they're foraging for food. That's different from using it here where we have food available 24 hours a day.
But what do you think about it now when it's now in pill form? Because as you well know, this is a hugely popular diet supplement, and I know a lot of folks are talking to you about it. So are you recommending it? Do you say it works, or are there caveats? What?
You know, in a perfect world, if we could have a Hoodia plant growing in our backyard like we have aloe, we could take a little chew and say perhaps it would do something. It's not surprising, Katie, that in nature there are things that activate, like cola nuts, like coca leaves, things that sedate, and something that would naturally suppress appetite for the ebb and flow of life.
Well, so many drugs are from natural products, you know, from the yew tree or whatever, and things like that.
The biggest difference is when you take this and extract it and put it in the pill, it doesn't make it bad, but we don't know right now whether it's pure, how much is authentic? Are there other contaminants that could be added to this? Because oftentimes for a weight loss compound, there are things we don't know about.
And these aren't FDA regulated, most importantly, right? Like any herbal supplement.
Right. Any dietary supplement can be promoted. It may not, it doesn't have to have any other regulation. The thing that is important to know is there are contaminants that are not tested. You don't know the dose, even though it looks like a prescription medication and there's instructions on the bottle. There's not even a dosage for Hoodia right now. So how do you translate chewing on a piece that's the size of a banana to what's the dose? Is it 400 milligrams, 700 milligrams? And if you look at the preparations, there's all kinds of recommendations. Take it 3 times a day. Take 2 capsules. Take it an hour before you eat. Take it immediately before you eat. So since there is no information, it's all speculation.
But you've had people who have been on this, I'm assuming, or you've talked to people who have tried it.
Sure.
Does it work?
Well, it's something, if you think it's working, sometimes
I was going to say, is it the placebo effect?
You can have a very strong placebo effect for something like this. I have patients who I encourage to tell me, what are you trying? Because you don't want them to hide it. Some people have tried it. They haven't gotten sick. This doesn't mean that there is not any negative side effects with that, because most of these are self-reports. People will take it, say, I think it helped me. Maybe, 1 out of 5 people say, was it helpful? Whether it was the active compound or not is difficult to say, because you still don't know how much of the pure compound is there.
Right. Well, so what would you advise consumers? Because I know a lot of women out there are thinking, gee, I'm going to go to the health food store and buy some of this stuff. Are there some brands that are better than others? I know that for example, GNC says this is the only Hoodia from the South African cactus plant that's available on the market. Can you trust claims like that? Or, how should you judge which Hoodia to buy?
Okay. We all believe that on the internet everything must be true. You cannot trust the claims that are made by any companies because there is no regulation. The best thing to do is to make sure, if you're going to try this, that there's an 800 number or a site that you can visit to see what is the demonstration that there's some purity. Give me some idea more than you're just telling me it's pure or authentic.
And you should probably talk to a doctor about it too, right?
You must talk to your doctor, especially if you take any medications that are going to be affecting your brain or other illnesses you take, because if there is enough biological activity in the particular pill, it might interfere with the actions of prescription medications, and you don't want that.
That's true, and that's so important, because herbal supplements can have bad interactions with other drugs. Well, Madeline Firstrom, thanks so much for coming by this morning and explain a little about Hoodia, but obviously we should probably learn more about it, too, in the future.
I think.
Thanks, Madeline. And now, here's Matt.
All right, Katie, thanks. We're going to go back.
Now, the news on CBS 2.
But if you want to trim your appetite, there's a hot new way to help you cut calories that could come from a South African desert. I'll have that coming up in Medicine Today. Well, believe it or not, a special cactus may hold the key to helping you control calories. If you just can't push the plate away till every little bite's gone, try a little Hoodia cactus powder an hour before you eat. Researchers at Bucks County Clinical Research in Philadelphia discovered that this South African desert plant actually fools your brain into thinking you feel full. People who used it before a meal cut in half the calories they consumed.
You're watching KCAL 9 News at 8.
It sounds like something that would kill your appetite. Eat a cactus. The latest diet help comes to us from the Kalahari Desert in South Africa. The Bushmen have survived for centuries by eating the succulent plant to minimize hunger on long hunting trips. Researchers are now proving that this cactus really kills the appetite.
It works by suppressing the satiety center in the lateral hypothalamus of the brain. Therefore, it kind of fools the mind and body feeling of a fullness.
Dr. Goldfarb is testing a powder form of the Hoodia plant, and first clinical studies show that Hoodia, taken 1 hour before meals, significantly reduces the appetite. And what's better, without side effects like jitters common to other appetite suppressants. Studies continue, but some Hoodia-based supplements are already in greater demand.
Watching KCAL 9 News at 10.
Sounds like something that would kill your appetite. eat a cactus.
Well, the latest diet comes to us from the Kalahari Desert in South Africa. The Bushmen there have survived for centuries by eating the succulent Hoodia plant to minimize hunger on long hunting trips. Researchers testing a powder form are finding that this cactus really does suppress the appetite without typical side effects like jitters.
Here's an amazing statistic. About half the people in the country are overweight. And of course, there are thousands of ideas about how to lose that weight safely.
The Surgeon General, of course, says, we were just talking about this, the best and simplest way is to eat fewer calories than you're burning. Well, in our supersized society, that's not so easy. Tonight, Colleen Maloney reports on a natural food that just might help.
What if you could eat a food that curbs your appetite, lowering your caloric intake? The Hoodia cactus from the South African desert just might be the next medical breakthrough. The Bushmen of the Kalahari Desert in South Africa have survived for centuries by eating a succulent called Hoodia to stave off hunger pains during long hunting trips. What they've known for generations, researchers are just proving to be true. This Hoodia cactus kills the appetite.
It works by suppressing the satiety center in the lateral hypothalamus of the brain. Therefore, it kind of fools the mind and body feeling of a fullness.
Dr. Richard Goldfarb is the medical director of the Philadelphia Clinical Research Facility, which is testing a powdered form of Hoodia. The first clinical studies just completed show that by ingesting Hoodia 1 hour before meals, appetite is stifled significantly.
The appetite suppressant effect, after it accumulates in your system after only a few days that we saw in our study, has shown that people will cut their calories probably in less than half, and they're not desiring any additional food.
Results like these have spawned a fast-growing market for Hoodia supplements. But the key is to get Hoodia grown in a specific region with a certification called DEX-L10.
It's the Hoodia that's coming from the Kalahari Desert in the South Africa region that has the most research on it.
Now, instead of using the Hoodia to survive, the sand bushmen and the slimming cactus business are flourishing in the Kalahari Desert. Study participants did lose their appetite, but did not experience any of the typical side effects from over-the-counter or prescription weight loss products, like jitteriness. If you'd like more information, log on to slimcactus.com. For Medical Breakthroughs, I'm Colleen Maloney. For TV 12, the news leader.